Okay, we'll open up this for the public hearing part of the meeting. I just want to say, starting out, we are not taking out a $200,000 loan. Enacting the ordinance does not obligate the town to borrow the money, nor will it impact the town's eligibility for grant funds. Enacting the ordinance will, if necessary, due to bid overruns or other eventualities, allow the town to borrow funds over and above the grant amounts if it becomes necessary. At this time, we are not planning on borrowing any money. The 1.9 should take care of the whole project. Putting this ordinance in place is just our net in case something would happen a year or two down the road and we would need it. It's just one of the stepping stones for getting the grant. So, anybody have something to say?
I didn't have citizen comments because I have one comment.
Excuse me?
I didn't have citizen comments because I have one comment. I didn't know about signing in or.
Okay. Well, this is a public meeting right now.
Okay, well, I didn't know.
Go ahead.
I just had one comment. Several meetings ago, before you changed the meeting time, you said that you have all public hearings at the Legion at 6 p.m. so everybody could go, not noon. That was something you assured us would happen.
And I assured you guys that would happen, but when we got this email from Steptoe Johnson, they took it upon themselves. They're the ones that published the public hearing, and we didn't want to go in and change the time that for the publication because everybody gets on us about changing times.
Well, the
It
last
was published in
meeting
the
before that-
paper. It was published in the paper on April 23rd, but it would be at 12 o'clock, and that was done by Steptoe Johnson, not us. And we didn't feel to take it upon ourselves to change the time because it was already put in the paper, and changing times gets people in uproars.
Well, your second reading, you had it at 10 a.m. because you changed it because you said the health department. So you changed the meeting time two times from what you said.
That's
I
just the
making a
reading,
comment.
that's not the public hearing.
Well, it's still illegal to change a meeting time without notice. And you did it that morning at 10 o'clock, so that was the illegal meeting. That's all I'm pointing out. That's all I have to say.
I'd like to ask a couple things too. We're voting on the same bond that came up September of 2019. We had a public hearing up here for that bond.
Yeah.
There were about 40 people here for that one because it was in the evening and people were
No,
notified.
that one was for the water.
That was for this, it was this same
No, this
exact
is-
bond. It
This
said
is not the water-
$200,000.
This is not, nothing to do with the water rate.
But that doesn't have to do with the water rate either in September, the meeting I'm speaking of.
Oh, the first one.
It was the same version, it was this bond that we're talking about, the $200,000
Okay.
bond. And when the citizens came and asked questions about it, the council said, we're sorry, Steptoe and Johnson couldn't be here, which they are not here again.
We have them ready to put on the phone if you have
Okay,
questions.
that's good, that's good. Also, I do think, when you're authorizing a bond, you are authorizing us to be legally obligated for that money. I don't know why we have to authorize a bond until we need it, until we do run over and need it. Why would we authorize for money we don't need? When we're a town that's broke, we don't have money to pay. When that bond comes, if we do borrow that bond, we'll have to pay it back. We'll have to raise some rates somewhere
This
to
is
pay
just
it.
a stepping stone that we won't have to go
Understand.
through at the point which we don't feel we're gonna need it. But when we're clear down to the end of the project, then we would have to do 6 months to get this bond ordinance put in place.
Why would it take 6 months?
How long have we been working on this one? Since September?
Well, but the only reason you've been working on it since September is because you haven't provided us with all the information. You tabled it in September because you didn't know what the bond was for. You agreed with us that it was too soon to do the bond.
And we found out that we are not going to borrow the money. It's there in case we need it.
Well, then that's different from any other bond that's issued. Bonds are a legal agreement to borrow money, is what they are. So I don't understand how that they're saying that this bond somehow, we're not going to borrow the money.
We're not.
And then when we do, are we going to authorize that with meetings and approvals and all that?
Yes,
That
if
will
it gets
be-
to that point, and we have to have that,
Okay.
we will have to have meetings for
Okay,
that.
that's good too.
But
I
at this
also have objection to the fact that the second reading of this ordinance was done at a meeting that was scheduled for noon, And because you were here early for a conference call, you decided to go ahead and have the meeting at 10
That's not
o'clock.
actually how it went down. When we changed it, we didn't change the 12 to 10 when we were changing the meeting places.
But nobody knew it was 10 o'clock except you guys. You were the only ones who knew it was 10. That's not open meetings.
It was on the door of the city building.
At that morning?
That morning.
No, all week.
No, we were
It was
there.
not up there all week.
Yes, it was.
I go and check almost daily. It was up there, it was just up there the day before, if anything.
I forgot to remove noon. The 10 was there, I forgot to remove noon.
So nobody knew it wasn't noon.
It wasn't.
We all thought it was noon. And I came in to pay my water bill and you were in the middle of the meeting. So I don't have to say anything else about it. I just want to make that comment publicly because you do a lot of things that the public doesn't see as being transparent. We're not seeing the transparency. We're not seeing the information coming to the public that needs to come to the public still. And we'll still complain about it when we feel that way. So I'm sorry that it is so offensive to you when we take
It's not offensive.
take
I want
action.
to make one comment too, and
Yes.
when you make comments,
Yes.
would you give the whole comment and not just your choosing out of it?
What are you speaking of?
One example was December 11th when Terry Lively was here. You put the meeting online, but above it you put Terry Lively stated that the town is broke. That's not what he stated.
He did exactly
He
state
said
that.
Now, when I'm talking, you keep your
Okay.
mouth shut.
Don't, please speak respectfully, ma'am.
Please.
Tell me to be quiet. Don't tell me to keep my mouth shut.
When I'm talking, don't interrupt me. How about that?
That's much better,
Please.
thank you.
You put that he said the town was broke, and I listened to it and made everybody else listening to it. He said, if you don't do the water rates, your town will go broke. So you don't change his wording to make everybody in town think.
I didn't change the wording.
You put
I
that
can
he
find
said
you,
the
I'll
town.
find you that part. I'll find you that exact
I
part.
have it.
I have the other part that says where you said we were broke.
I have the whole.
And also at the court hearing, at the PSC hearing, Steptoe and Johnson, Todd Swanson, said that Piedmont is broke. It's in the court transcript. He also said Piedmont is broke. The attorney, Todd Swanson, said Piedmont is broke.
And then public hearing.
And it's in the transcript. I don't make these things up. And so we are concerned that we are hearing from the attorneys that Piedmont is broke, but we hear from you guys that everything's okay, that the audits are going fine, that we have money, we're doing okay.
We've never said that.
You say the audit reports are good.
Oh.
The audit, you say, no, I've read the audit reports. I've read the last
That doesn't
16
mean you
years
have
of
money,
audit
then that
reports.
means that the audit went well. That still doesn't mean you have money.
The audit didn't go well, Paul, with all due respect.
The audit went well.
By
We
your
have
standards.
issues that need to be addressed, and
Uh-huh.
we are addressing those issues, yes.
As
And-
far
and may I
as
make-
the
I'll
fine
make one more comment.
information,
I'd like to make one more comment about that. And the only reason I'm doing that now is because we're talking about borrowing more money.
We're
At some
not talking
point.
about.
Well, we're talking about,
Maybe.
please let me
Where
speak.
did you have 20 years ago
Not there.
when these other people was running this town?
Yeah, that's why I bring that up.
we were
Every
given-
hearing on the water.
That doesn't have anything to do
I
with
heard
it.
Every other people up to say now, it's now, it ain't passed.
It is bad.
No, it's not.
No, it ain't. You know damn good well.
Can I finish my comment, please?
I was.
I would like to finish my comment.
I don't think you
That
can.
the only reason,
Let him finish, then you can.
the only reason,
Yeah. Let
You'll
him-
run this county around.
Let's go ahead, Tim.
the only reason that I'm bringing up the audit or any of that is that we are, I'll correct myself, we are authorizing ourselves to borrow money at some point,
If necessary.
if necessary. And this is a town that, in our 16 years of audit reports, we get the same dings every time. They say that we don't keep a general ledger. A general ledger is fairly important to knowing how much money you have.
There is a general ledger being kept.
Then why does the audit report say that you don't
Because
keep one?
they didn't before, but it's being done
It
now.
still says it. It still says it in the
The
current.
audits were before Carrie.
It says it on the most recent audit report too. It hasn't changed.
She's got everything
It says we don't
straightened
we don't use a standard chart of accounts. That hasn't changed either.
that I'm in the process of doing.
And that's what you told them 3 years ago, too,
I did not.
or 2 years ago.
I was not handling it.
Well, whoever
3
it was
years
2
ago.
years ago. whoever
I
it was
took
2
over
years
March
ago.
24th,
Of what year?
this year.
Who was doing the books before that?
Phil.
Okay, okay. All right, it's all, okay, I see the picture now. So, we're picking up from a situation where we did not know how much money we had. We only recently are now finding out how much we have. So, that's an improvement. But the fact is, we haven't had a general ledger up until very recently. So we don't know how much comes in, we don't know how much goes out.
We do.
And now we supposedly do now, but why is our attorney for this project telling us that the town is broke? So I'll just leave it at that. You can vote for this bond, but it seems like you're not listening to the people again. And that your job is to listen to the people. The Open Government Proceedings Act of West Virginia, in the West Virginia Code, says that we have public hearings so that you can listen to the public, get input from the public, and modify what you vote for and what you do to be in line with what the public is asking for. Not just have public hearings and then vote for what you're going to do anyway, which tends to be what happens here. So we're trying to make that a little different.
We didn't vote on it back in September. Now we understand it better, so it's back for a vote.
Okay,
And
I'm
like
done.
I said, the
I'm done.
1.9 we're gonna get for the water project, we're told is more than enough than we need. This is just a
Well-
safety net in case something down the road happens. And we do not want to borrow any more money. We're still paying off money from years before.
One more point, and that is that Steptoe & Johnson does all this attorney work for these projects. And we should be very clear that Steptoe & Johnson does not represent the town of Piedmont's interests.
Yes, they do.
They represent, they are just the legal clerks that do the legal work for these various projects. They don't represent the citizens of Piedmont. We don't pay them a retainer. They're not paid by us. They're paid by Region 8, whoever these grants, all that. They're not paid by us. So the attorneys don't work for you. If you're not paying the attorney, they don't work for you. And I think we have a misunderstanding here that Steptoe & Johnson has it all in good hands. When really Steptoe & Johnson is not acting, they're not that type of attorney. They're just a contract attorney. We really do need an attorney for the town to represent our rights, because our rights are getting trampled on in a few ways here. And Steptoe & Johnson isn't going to help us with that, because that's not their job. They don't work for the citizens of Piedmont. But I just wanted to clarify that, because we always go and say that things are in the hands of the attorneys when we're referring to Steptoe & Johnson. Those are not our attorneys, just so we know. But that's all I have to say.
Can I respond?
Yes, you can respond. Yeah, I'm going to sit down.
Okay, again, maybe I used the wrong word on social media, but they are the ones that said, gave me confirmation this morning of when this was put in the paper. That's the only reason why I made the comment that they were representing for that. They are the ones that said they would put it in the paper. It was in the paper April 23rd.
They do take care of those kind of tasks.
Okay, that was the only reason why I was making that comment.
But and that wasn't why I was making my comment about Steptoe & Johnson. It was not about your comment. It was, I would have made that comment anyway. That's something I wanted to say about Steptoe & Johnson.
They
and
did
how they
post
don't
it in the
represent
paper.
us.
You did make that comment,
Yeah, I
that it
did.
had to be in 10 days, and it was 10 days, over 10 days.
Okay, good. I'm glad that that's being done, but that's all they do, is they do the clerking for us. They don't
Well, and-
represent our interests, and they don't care about Piedmont's future. They don't know about Piedmont's future. That's not their job. So, I'm done, sorry. I said I was done already.
Go ahead, Greg.
After talking to the attorney, John Stump, about exactly what we're voting on, it is a 4-step process to get this money available. We're taking it through the first 3. Because the last thing we want to do is get in the middle of this water project, because there is going to be a time limit on it. Get in the middle of the water project and say, we're going to run out of funds, now we got to start the loan process. This just gets us to step 3, until we go through step 4. There's no money borrowed. We believe we're gonna get to that point without having to borrow money, but we have $1.9 million for jobs that have not even been sent out to bid. But we have to, once a project starts, be able to finish it. We can't stop it and say, okay, let's go through the process, wait 4 months on the loan process, and then say, guess what? We have no water for 2 months while we're waiting on that. So right now, all we're doing is, this ordinance is getting us to step 3. It is not committing us to any money to borrow. Our desire is not to borrow any money, but if it comes to the point we run into issues, we have to have money available to solve the problem as quick as possible. Me personally, I have no issue with doing that. I know the financial status of Piedmont and I've been trying to follow it, trying to make changes to get to where we need to be. But as far as what this special meeting's about, I believe we need to do this to be ready. It's not committing any money borrowed. We don't need to borrow any money. There's no doubt in my mind. And if we need to get Mr. Stump on the phone, we can do that. I believe he's going to tell us the same thing, that this is what is. This is getting us to step 3. That's what it's doing.
Anybody else have anything to say?
I just have one comment, not to do with this specifically, but if we could just use Zoom or live stream or something with this COVID, so people don't have to come to meetings and you guys can even do it from your house. That's just a comment. I wish we could do something that people don't have to show up together in public for meetings.
Kaiser City Council is doing that. Kaiser City Council's using Zoom. So it's pretty easy to set up, I guess.
Yep.
I'm just here to want to thank the water commissioners for what the job they're doing. Seniors, I represent the seniors. And one thing I'm glad that we did raise the water rate. I know they're trying to do a good job. I know the steps, because I was in there and I worked with them. And I know what they're doing. I know what y'all trying to do. And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Russ, you have anything to say?
My step would just be about, it's about time that you got a higher authority instead of state man. I'm talking about people I'm in touch with, which is Joe Manchin himself. Not only through basketball commission, but through sporting commission, but being on Senator Capito's issue also, when I brought the water issue up. First is about the closing of Verso, which they had contacts with railroad officials also, but they really wasn't officiated with what the water problem really was in Piedmont. And then they went through certain plans that were associated, and they said, well, it's sort of like the situation that you had with the Burlington situation and other parts of the communities in West Virginia, small communities with the water situations of pure water out. And they said, yes, there are plans out there. And like Greg said, finally get in touch with higher authority that are going through the higher steps. Because the more you fool around with your commissioners of the county, and the more you fool around with your delegates that are supposed to be representing you, it seems like you're interested more in what they can do election time than what they are as in Piedmont's past privileges. As you look at your situation now, it says Mineral County Chamber offers this. The closest we come to being offered as a town of Piedmont is what? Jenny's Randolph Lake. You know, which is, there's no opportunity about tourism, you know. We were set on a railroad town, paved roads, no situation about how to improve Piedmont's situation. It's talking about what we got over here, the old fort. You know, nothing against them, but people work hard, or other parts of the festivals going on. There's nothing to mention about the fortunes of Piedmont and what the town really represents. You know, even when you have historical characters, you know. But the issue was what we're talking about now is water situation with, they were not really, they're people, delegates. And the first thing I heard says, well, why weren't you delegates in your town? And we had people representing they represented a Kaiser. Come in, they weren't aware of the situation that was going on. You know, they simply represent, not themselves, but represented, and want to know about the community and all that. They never knew about it. The first thing they ever heard about Piedmont being represented out was when the first so closed. That's when they got on the map. And then still, they were more concerned about what was going across the bridge because the mill was closed in Maryland. So we got to find out what the true representatives were. So I'm glad we finally got some more higher authorities, but our delegates were working for it. So they should be on the ball with it too. Because it never was mentioned. It was mentioned about our senators and everybody, but it never mentioned Hal's name or any of our commissioners until the commissioner said, yeah, I've been doing this. No, he hadn't been to one of our meetings. Our commissioners never been in one of our meetings to state here what situations were. So I congratulate the council and everybody where we're going to get what representatives they had to let us know. And what the whole situation, I feel about the whole situation at Piedmont is we only got a few people that are interested in the whole thing. They talk about it. But as you know, the meetings we had, public meetings, how many people have we had? Number what? Maybe 10 that represent the town. And we were discussing how many water customers we had. You know, how you gonna get anything done if you only got 10 out of what? What'd you say? What we had, 200 something?
273
Okay,
this
10.
month.
Okay, there we go. But you get signatures, right? Okay, then if I'm signing signatures, I want to know what signatures are about. Who's telling the truth? You got too much fake stuff going on nowadays. You know, who can I believe? Who's saying this? Who's working on this project? Who's working on that project? You know, you get misrepresented about, you know, well, we're going there. We don't care what people say. We're going to the town, the Westport anyway. Then everything comes up. We don't want to go there. Well, how you know? Was you at the meeting? Nobody said we were going there. Was that not quoted? We didn't say we were going to get Westport water. We're going to help. Did we say that? No. Half of them probably wasn't, some of the only ones that are foreign to know what's going on about what the whole situation is water thing. And as far as bringing the past situation, what other people have done, we don't worry about that. We're in the future now. What's going to happen years ago? You understand what I'm saying? We're worried about now. Some of those people are gone. You know, and some of them that represented this way back then, you know, like Mr. Clifford here, or so that was long ago. We tried to do things, but there was other opportunities in the town then. There were other extra businesses that was lost at the time. Am I not right? They helped out the water situation. When you had more coming in, there wasn't much situation going on. The whole thing is the town relied on too much of other things instead of citizens. So the whole thing is what the council thing is about, is trying to get the citizens together at Piedmont. You know, not a handful, because this thing doing handfuls is not getting it done. Like I said, we're not rich. The rich wouldn't have to worry about it. We gotta get things done. And this water situation things, too much rumors going around. The whole thing, we finally got people that didn't even know what was going on, finally getting involved. And that's all I got to say, you know, on that situation. We're finally getting things around. Because that grant's been out there for a long time to get the water situation situated. Way back when. You know, but now we've got representatives on that tree board and man, we're getting it done. Like I said, that money is there to get. You don't have to take it. It's there to get. You know, but we're trying to figure out, like you say, how to do it without going through this water process. So we have to pay. Does anybody on anything else? If you can get it without taking from somebody, it's good. They're not giving away free. People think they're giving away free. They're not giving away things free.
The 1.9 is free, we don't have to pay it back.
That's right, you don't have to pay it back. That's true, but you know, in the long run, it's going, you know. So that's what the whole thing's been about. Just
You know, I've been here my whole life. I love this town just like the rest of us do here, okay? I'll do anything in the world for this town. But the problem is we don't have enough people in this town that have the heart anymore. Okay? That's the problem. We don't have the heart in this town anymore that we had. Most of the people that are here now are not from this town. Okay? And the ones that are still here in this town, we don't want to leave this town. So we're going to do what we have to do the best we can. I mean, it's not an easy job. Believe me, I give it to all of them. I mean, it's not an easy job. And he was handed down a lot of problems, just like each and every one of us has been, okay? Because I don't think we have enough time in these offices to do anything. How can you get anything done in 2 years? How can you get anything done in 4 years? Okay? I mean, you really can't. By the time you get started, just like the water project up here, coming down on 135. So many administrations, they got lost. Okay? That's where we're at. Everything in administrations has gotten lost. We got 271 water taps in this town. Most of them are the original people from this town that still have a house and still trying to keep themselves going. This is where we're at. They don't care about us. West Virginia stops at the sign down here. Piedmont is not even part of West Virginia anymore as far as they're concerned out there. We belong to West Virginia. Okay? That's exactly the feeling I get from them. Kaiser wants this extension for some reason. I don't know why. That's what I've been getting out of this. But we got other routes. We're trying to do what we can. But right now, it's time that is against us. And as long as you only got a few people, like I said, every time you want to have a cleanup, how many people showed up last time you had one?
7.
When we did it, I don't know how many people showed up here for that spaghetti dinner at church, okay? But we got 17 people the next day. That was 4 years ago. 17 people out of 50 or 60 that showed up over there to eat come out here to help us. And you know what, Russ? It's the same ones. Same people. I have Reverend Coleman down here. He's 80 years old. 90, excuse me. Thank you, Paul. 90 years old. Planting flowers and stuff. You know, this is where we're at. People with Skip's age. That's the people that has the heart.
You have the heart to clean up, but the whole thing, what it comes down to is you said people in here, when the town was bursting, it had commerce.
Yep.
All right, commerce was out. When commerce started going out, nobody was promoting commerce to come in. Why? Because right there was feeding everything you had to get.
Yep.
There's nowhere else was you going to put another airstream Piedmont.
Yep.
Where?
You can't.
The only thing you can get in Piedmont is housing.
Yep.
Most of that's the only thing you got. Yeah.
That's what I said.
Everything else you got. There's no factory going to come in because where you going to put it at?
That's what I'm saying. They're trying
So
to.
you got to build up what you got. You got to build up a part what is called commerce. You got to look at people saying, what are you interested in when you put it out there? What does people offer do you get? Is it a craft store? Or is it a bakery? Or what do you need? You know, what do you think Piedmont area, tri-towns, or wherever would like to have dinner? Right now, when you look at it, where you got to do all your shopping at?
Westport, Kaiser.
I mean, from Margaret and Kaiser, right?
Yep.
Where else? They don't even offer nothing over there, but little thing. But look what you got. You got dilapidated buildings sitting around. You got things like that where nobody looking at. Hey, look at it. Are you interested in a little market or something? You want in? How can we help you as a town? How can we help you? Well, I'll tell you, I can start this up real good, but I see no need for it. But I'm not going in there and do this and not get the support.
But then here we run into like with the Philistine. It changes hands so many times. You know how much money we have put out already trying to get this building taken care of in this town? A lot. Okay, and it changes hands, and one lady said, well, I'm coming in, since I bought it, I'm gonna have that tore off. We're still waiting for it. Now it's changed hands to some guy now.
That's right, and when it changes hands, the pressure still should be on things. They say, well, we can't get it, but what'd you buy it for? The pressure was here, you see what it looks like?
Tax write-off.
You do that, right, and you say, okay, county commission, county authority, building authority, say, hey, look, this building this person bought it, I'm gonna go tax it, but let's get it fixed up, because what's it doing to your town?
That's it.
Everybody else is fixed up, you look at it and the first thing, oh, nice, then you get to that part and say,
We send them certified letters if they're.
and other towns are doing it, because there's going a law that's being presented to the state government now, I know, where the city can take access to that property if it's not fixed up. And then charge people for it, and if they don't pay it, at that time, it becomes city property, whatever, but the law's not passed, because people in the government are fighting over, because some of the major people in their own property that did that, and they,
But we have a house on Fairview Street that we condemned because of a sewer problem. Well, that house now is being rented out. And it's supposed to be condemned, and it's never come through this town to be reopened or through the health department. But yet there's somebody moving in that house and trying to live in it.
and it still can be default.
And nothing can be done about it.
There's no way you can get in there until we approve it.
Right.
That's what it should be. So if it's not enforced, then what you gonna do? Want to rent and keep on renting?
Yep.
Okay, your Paul comment, and then we'll finish up the public hearing.
I'd just like to add a little bit to what Rick is saying. We've lost the civility, you've heard me say it in here a long time ago, we've lost civility in this town. And what we have, and what you had, was a service. And we have a little bit of, we have a service. I said in the beginning, when I was first approached, first asked about being a part of it, I wouldn't be a part of any service. And I mean that. I still mean that. And I won't be. I won't be a part of a service. I'm asking for the good people of this town to stand up. Come here to the meetings. If you want to come to the meetings, come here and be a part. There's no reason for a circus. And this circus atmosphere. I love this town. I'm born and bred here in Piedmont, as well as most of the people sitting around here. And I'll die right here in the city of Piedmont. And I'm here to do anything and everything to move this town forward. You asked me to be financial commissioner, and that's what I'm trying to do. To the best of my ability. This town had some problems. Everybody knows. Nothing that we created, but problems that we inherited. Gary Field, myself, Paula, the mayor, and we have set on a course and have been on a course of reconciling those problems and straightening those problems out. And you know what? You're straightening those problems out under a circus atmosphere. Try that. Try that on your jobs. Try that running in the hospital.
Yeah, that won't fly.
Try that. It's not easy. We need everybody to bond and band together.
Everybody.
That's a common goal to better this town.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm here.
Me too.
I'd walk out that door, go down them steps and go back home and back into my retirement.
I volunteered for this position, and I even ran for the position.
You don't do it for the money.
No.
You don't do it for the money, you do it because you love the town and you're born and bred here. So I'm asking again for the good people of this town to stand up and come forward. I want to see more people at these meetings. I want to see more people involved.
I want more input.
We had our the cleanup last year. I want to see more than 7 people stand up. There's more than 7 people in this town that love this town like we do.
We're tired.
Stand up. Trying to put your stage back here. Trying to put your sidewalk back here. Trying to improve the water here. Trying to get us water here. And trying to do a whole bunch of other things. And Paul's been a wonderful mayor.
Yes, she has.
Carrie's doing a wonderful job. Trying, and Phil, when she was here, helping. But Carrie has done a wonderful job. And we are getting an antiquated system, and I said that word, you heard me say it before, antiquated, and that's what it was. That's what we had, but we no longer have that. We had an antiquated financial system in this town, and we've set about the course of improving it and making it better, making it much better. I want everything to add up, and Carrie is the same way. We want everything to add up to the penny. If a nickel comes in this town, we want it recorded and documented. If a nickel goes out of this town, we want it recorded and documented. I want people to have the faith in me and Carrie and in this city government that we are doing what's right and what's best and what we have to do for the betterment and the well-being of this community. We're not here, I'm not here, I'm telling you, not for a service. I'll go right outside, out the door, somebody else can sit in my seat.
We're kidding.
Because I'm not going to be a party to any circus. I said that from the beginning, and I mean that with all my heart. I will not, because I got better things to do.
I know Paul and myself, we're tired of the arguing and the fighting amongst everybody.
I'm not here for that. I didn't come for that. I didn't sign up for that.
I didn't come here to get pissed off.
You got ideas, you got better ideas, bring them. My ears are open. I want to hear. Because I'm here for one purpose, to win gold.
Yes.
I know I'm taking a lot of time here,
That's okay.
but I think it needs to be said. It's for the betterment of this town. I'm asking for the people, the good people in this town, to wake up.
Not only good people, all of
To
them.
wake up. Wake up, become a part of your city government, become a part of what's going on and what we are trying to do in this town. Become a part. Don't stand in the way, become a part.
Again, sin, it takes all of us.
Become a part.
It takes all of us.
We talked about that.
Again,
We talked about that a long time ago.
we've had problems.
It takes all of us.
We've had problems. It takes all of us.
Because you asked
We've
me.
had problems. There's been problems here in the past. That's in the past. Somebody else said that a little bit. It's in the past. That's gone.
That's right.
We have adopted a new financial system, our QuickBooks system, and Carrie has done a remarkable job. And we're still in the process of cleaning up from years and years and years and years.
Can I say one more
Of
thing
neglect.
about that too? Because what I said earlier about taking over the 24th, every penny was accounted for from the time I started in this town. Phil just didn't know QuickBooks enough to know where to put things, which, you know, sometimes she would ask me, but I have been correcting enough to know that I can get it to the point where it will coincide with the budget when we need to do it. But I am cleaning it up before I put the numbers to match the budget in. And it needed cleaned up.
Yeah.
That's all I had to say. But as far as entering things and the payroll, she did it, but there was just some things that just, you know, she just didn't know what, she didn't have an accounting mind.
We're human.
Well, she just, you know, she learned the program, but she didn't have an accounting mind. That's what I have my degree in.
You're an accountant.
But I also was only doing the water and, you know, if she needed help and asked, then I would help her. But I was only part-time. Now I'm full-time, I can get into the books, I can get into the QuickBooks, but there is no money missing. And I'm not going to keep saying that when it's brought up on social media.
Amen.
Period. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Anybody have got any more questions about the bond ordinance? They realize we're not going to borrow money, it's just a stepping stone for the future. Anybody have a problem? Okay, I just consider this public hearing closed and we'll go into the regular meeting of the council. Oh, we need some prayer.
I'll be glad. Father, in Jesus' name, we come before you and we thank you for all things. We thank you for waking us up this day. We thank you for blessing us. We thank you for being here within our midst, Lord. We ask that you lead and guide us this day and help us to make those decisions, Lord, again, that benefit each and every person that lives in this community, Lord. Each and every person, each and every soul, Lord. And I ask, Lord, that you bless every person in this town and that you protect us and you keep us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
May 6, 2020. Is there any citizens' remarks?
Yeah, I know I'm not on the agenda, but the issue is about, the street right here, used to be an alley. The dentist building was tore down by the bank.
Yeah,
Now, for years, that was one way.
right.
Well, all of a sudden, it turned into a two-way street.
Yeah, we voted to have that two-way street.
Two-way street?
Yes.
Well, then, what I'm saying then, it's gotta be marked between the bank parking lot, where it ends, and the street ends. Because you can't have it going over the bank. There's been complaints about some of the bank employee, and saying about when they park here, cars coming down that lane, putting holes where their parking lot is. And on the other side, for years now, it was one way. It was one way in and one out. And with them taking over that part, how much does that extend out to their owning part and roadway? Because right now, that road's only go out enough for one vehicle. My thing has been one way for years, and it still should remain one way.
Well, like I said, when they tore Dennison's building down is when we made it two-way.
Well,
Yeah, but then that's what I say, but you only have one paved part.
see, the reason why that was done, Russ, was because we had to have a police officer stand there 24/7. They'd come down Main Street, go in that one way and park.
Yeah, what you're doing now.
Right, so that's why we decided to make it a two-way street, so they could go in that way and park without having to worry about having a police officer down there to give a ticket for illegal turn. And a one-way street, going down a one-way street. We were getting a lot of complaints about that, okay? So we just decided, well, we can make it a two-way street now, both ways, since that parking lot's there, and they can come in and pull in and park right there like that, without, because like I said, if not, I'd have to have a police officer down there. I stood down there, I don't know, when we were down there working, I'm talking 20, 30 cars a day, just right in like that.
But
It's good money.
But like I say,
right.
what it is though, you're getting the problem back now, the same thing's happening because you got the car coming this way. This car is not gonna get over, but it's gonna pull in.
Well, we
And
need
then,
to
so you
mark,
have people coming like this, causing up, and this person getting upset because they cannot pull out the road, or this person's wanting to pull in there. And if it becomes full of parking lot, you're gonna have a problem because you're gonna have squeeze this way and that way, and then you go on to adjacent parking. So that's what it's talking about. For years, that's why it was only one way for the alley.
yeah, but right now, the road, we have a mark there.
And so what I'm saying then, it's going to be marked some way where
Yeah.
they know to stay on the right side and that this is parking.
Yeah. We just like, so,
Because you got very enough coming down King then when, turn from the
well,
other
we
street.
have 3 people that we work, and we're trying to do what we can. in this
Because
town.
you tell yourself, if he's sitting there, people are hesitant to make that turn. They're going to go all the way down.
Oh,
They
they
see him sitting there, they say, I can't turn that because I got room. Is he going to come out or is he just sitting there? He could be sitting there, watching for the traffic flow.
I watch him come down from Duffy's, swing right in, U-turn, and right back up Main Street.
Yeah,
I've seen that so many times, and I'm looking at him and saying, you can't do that.
right.
But we have our police officers that we do have.
So we're not, you can't take 24/7.
You know,
True, but I'm talking about, and then
And I-
same,
yeah.
same way in business night was before
but
the
we'll
virus
get,
came, how busy he was.
I'll get with Eric, and we'll get this worked out and figure out how we can get that road.
So, like I say, it's one way for a long time, but now it's getting a problem when you make two ways, make it even worse. When it's one way, when the one way sounds up, and then, because what happens when the parking lot's empty, pedestrians, kids walk through there.
Yeah,
And sometimes that crazy people don't care. The bicycle, motorcycle ride, and their kid walk right in front, they don't care.
no, they don't.
Or traffic coming this way, so we gotta kind of.
That's why we're at where we're at, they didn't care, they pulled in there, I don't care if the police officer's standing there or not, they're gonna pull right in no matter what.
Yeah.
That's just the way people are, most people are just, they don't
Because
care.
then some of them don't care how fast they go through it either.
And how much is a ticket for a wrong way, on one-way street?
She says fine, I don't.
Oh.
$100
Well, see,
something
that's
dollars,
what I'm
sure.
saying, I mean, but yeah, it would work out, that'd be nice, but, it's just like the blue line is sat there. Everybody would stop there and go in and buy their tickets and everything at Mickey's. I would watch guys wandering around with that little handicap tag and look for a place to park. These guys are in Mickey's for 15, 20 minutes,
And
we would have to have a police officer sit there. I know, because it cost my daughter $300 for that blue line, okay?
Yeah,
All right, can't be,
and then what I'm saying though too is, what's happening, if the bank is busy on their meeting days, they don't use their bank that much, the old bank parking lot. People they want to park right there, where they got to park. So you got two of them, somebody wanting to back out, and somebody pulling in, and somebody's going this way. If they're not paying attention, boom.
all right.
You know, but they don't think nobody's pulling this way, they're watching this car going this way instead of the one pulling this way. Could've been that,
We'll
you
get
know.
them to.
And, you know, I'm just discussing, you keep two ways, one, like I said, it was one way for years. And they had no problem, people
Well,
do,
like I said, he said it's easier for them to pull in for parking for the bank that way, that's
Yeah.
why we did it.
and they, you know,
And
they,
we'll find a way to mark the right hand side.
and like I say, if they're gonna do it, they should pay it, put a sign up, you know, because a lot of people don't even know that bike bank parking. It's for there anyway,
It belongs to the bank as
and go
well.
wherever they want to, you know.
Now, the bank hasn't complained to us about it. Now, if they complain to us, then we can put a sign up there that says, or they can put a sign up that says no parking only for bank for some, certain hours.
Yeah, well, that ain't gonna work, forget that right now, you know.
Okay.
That's
You have maybe minutes from the last meeting? And included in that was one from the special meeting.
I make a motion to accept the reading of the minutes.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? The minutes will be approved this way. Correspondence. I don't know if anybody's interested, but we've got two postcards. They have little grants. One's for recycling. I don't know if we want to get into the recycling part, but for a town with a population under 10,000 people, you can get an award of up to 75,000 for municipalities. And you'd have to fill out an application for the DEP, and there's a website named here. You got till July 1st to put in for that, and the other one's for a litter control grant, but it's a matching grant for up to 5,000. We don't like looking into matching grants because right now we don't have money to match anything. But I know they had problems with Westernport with their recycling. I don't know if we want to get into that, but
It's a good idea, but I don't know if we have enough people in this town that want to do it. That's the only thing. I mean, you see what the people want to do. They want to throw the trash on the sidewalk and leave.
and I had my weekly.
That would be a little extra money for the town, if you know, but I don't know if it'd be a big headache if we would do it or not.
At one point, there were some recycle bins back in Carl's parking
They're
lot.
still there, aren't they?
Now they're gone.
Oh, they took them?
Yeah, they
I think that was
They
Jack.
were, yeah, they were
Yeah, I think
numbered
that, I think
things.
that was
They are
Jack.
gone.
Yeah, they've been gone probably 6 months, but I believe there were 4 back there. 2 for cardboard and I think newspapers, magazines or something like that. And they were empty pretty frequently and they were also filled back up. So with that amount of recycle going in, there's obviously some people, enough people that have an interest in it to fill them up.
Yeah.
Okay, personally, I think it'd be a good idea. I don't know if it would create a problem.
Well, maybe we can put that on the agenda for the next meeting to discuss.
I know they have.
I'll call and find out.
They're going to,
Are you going? When did they take them out?
about the same time Jack took his. I was searching because I recycled.
Well, me too.
And they
That's what I said, that's
were all-
always.
Yeah, they took on that, Jack took both of them out. The
Well,
city
I
now
know
is
Jack
supposed
was- I
to
thought most of
spread that with recycling.
Yeah, they took theirs out too.
There was 2 or 3 back in there.
That's why I thought it might be a good idea, it's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
You know,
I
I'll call.
think it is.
But Walmart also has recycling, so there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you got a haul all there, so I just seen you driving that down, driving. I always put in the Sam's truck, take the Jack's.
And we had my weekly conference call with the health department, and we're in phase 2 of the reopening, which is the small businesses with 10 or fewer employees, restaurants with takeaway service and outdoor dining, churches or funeral homes, and hair salons, nail salons, barbershops, pet grooming. Still got to practice the social distancing. Then they'll announce Monday what the third, fourth, and 5th and 6th week will entail opening back up. But they wanted to make sure that everybody still did the social distancing. And if you're sick, stay home. The Piney Valley was tested and the total nursing home was negative, so we had none of that in our nursing homes. They didn't fare better than the other ones in Maryland, they had some cases there. So that's one good thing about ours. The hospitals are still doing a no visitor policy, and they have 76 tests through their drive-through down there. So people are still getting tested. We're still below the 3% mark. If it goes above that, they'll stop the reopening, but we've remained under the 3%, so that's a good thing too. Just keep washing our hands and stay home if you're sick.
Stay on the way.
And I know we're midway through the week, but this week is the annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. So we'd like to recognize Carrie for being our professional municipal clerk. And that's all my correspondence. Anybody else have correspondence? Okay, then we'll go down to officers' reports. Paul?
Yeah, what I have here before me is all the business that's done within the city and our three major accounts. I'll pass that around. This is all the checks that have been wrote probably since the last meeting, right here.
Since the 23rd of March.
It's the 23rd of March. It's right there wrote on top too.
Yes.
I want to give the balance of the accounts to the sewer account. We currently have $1,437.39. That's in the sewer account. In the general account, $26.94.82. And in our water account, $1,565.29.
And can I say about the water account by the 15th, I also have to have at least 3,000 more for the 2 bonds that come out every month on the 15th.
So I'll pass those around, and you can look at those. And I would like to add, watch my turn. We're progressing on the stage back here as far as getting our donation letters out. Asking people if you're interested in those bricks. A brick to build sidewalks. Those bricks are going to be used to help fund that putting the stage back here, which we desperately need something positive in this town. You and I, and all of us that live here, know that. We need something positive. And that stage is what I consider something positive. That we can all look and be proud of. People come back here and put on performances or whatever we want to do with it. Something that we can look at and say, hey, this is our town. We're doing something positive. So that's the purpose behind it. So buy a shirt if you're interested in a shirt. We're selling shirts, t-shirts. And this is all through our improvement committee, which I thank those folks for stepping up and caring about the town as we do and wanting to get involved. So anybody out there wants to get involved, come forward and join. But get your name on a brick, a permanent spot back there on that playground, so you can go back there and look and see your name.
What's the price of the bricks?
The bricks are going to be $35.
It's sitting up there so you can see what it looks like.
There's a sample sitting right down there, what they're going to look like. And there's also applications, if you're interested, fill one out, pass it around, and get it back to us or to the improvement committee. That's what a brick looks like, and we opted for a sidewalk instead of a wall. We think that would be just pretty back there.
I know they did that in Morgantown, and I put they had one on the walkway going up to the football stadium, and you also they had one at the Coliseum, which are $100. But I did get one for each of them because he was a big West Virginia fan, but it's a fundraiser, $35 for a small town.
Well, people are unemployed.
Kaiser High School did it.
Yep.
Big Village Stadium, and I bought my daughter one, so she is a part of that.
We made the price as low as we possibly could, hoping that people would step up and would buy. We know money's tight and tough right now, but we also need the money to fund the stage, so,
Get whatever, your 3 lines, right?
yes,
Whatever you
3
want.
lines on there, and it will be etched on there. You see the etching examples on the bottom, the laser is on the top, but that's what it will be. It'll be that color. I think it will be beautiful. So I'm asking people in this town to stand up, step up, be a part of what we're trying to do, which is something positive here in this town. So that's all I got.
Okay, Ron.
Well, with everything that's still going on with this virus thing, there's not much to report on the parts. I have gone back, picked up a many sticks and filled Eric's little burning place up. I hope it was Eric's little burning place. Because I pulled something up with a lot of sticks.
What was it?
Debris out of, from around the park.
Oh, okay. Well, I got something I got after you're done,
Okay.
but, are you,
Yeah, because there's just really nothing to report. Oh, I got one question then. Where is the bench from back there?
that's what I was gonna tell you.
Okay.
So we got a letter from the health department, they come in, I guess it was around 20th of April, something like that. And they hit us with a couple deficiencies. This is something they do every year. And it's just simple stuff like emptying trash cans, cutting grass. One of them was that bench. And for multiple reasons, rather than repairing that bench, we just threw it away. And then there's still a couple other things we gotta do. I had this big old thing written out. I left it in the car. I'll show, I'll get with you and we'll go over it together, but it's nothing serious, like mulch. We're supposed to mulch the playground equipment. And then I think there's like a monkey bar or two that needs repainted, stuff like that, simple stuff that we do.
Well, it's getting to be that time of year. You
Yeah.
really can't do that kind of stuff in the winter.
Right, so, but we've already started on some of them, so. But I'll get with you and show you.
May has not got the memo, it's not winter anymore.
I know. This is crazy.
I know, I got my shorts on.
Yeah, show off. That's doing a long thing, so.
I'm freezing to death, but they're on. Okay.
I really don't have anything there. You can fill in there. I've been out for a while. I got 3 strikes against me, so I'll stay at home. I don't need the 4th ball.
Okay, Eric?
Alright, so this is my report or his, like,
Yours.
okay, I was gonna say I'm just gonna combine it all anyway. And like I said, I had everything on the dang notepad, probably 4 or 5 pages, and I left it in the car, but so I'm gonna be pulling this from my memory. Okay, a couple weeks, I think it was 2.5 weeks ago, we had an issue up on, was that Mayberry Street, the wall?
Yes.
Mayberry Street, we had a wall, it's a big concrete wall fall out, and it was out in the road. I spoke with the people that own the property and told them that we would move everything out of the wall, out of the road, make the road accessible again. They've got to do something about that wall. It's a safety issue. I mean, I go by it every day to check on it, and there's more and more debris coming out, especially with this rain. I mean, the whole wall's, it's coming. It's just a matter of time. So I spoke with them. I told
That's
them
the
that.
politics, right?
Yep, and they haven't done nothing yet about it.
Well,
There's no.
Looks like a tree's holding nothing.
Oh yeah, the one, the front end of the wall is literally leaning, and all that's holding it up is a stump.
You talking about the candle branch?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the way I understand there, I was informed that the gas company was supposed to replace that wall for them, for allowing them to put their station in their backyard.
I don't understand why that would be, that.
Well, that was
station's
part
like
of the
100
agreement.
yards.
That was part of the agreement with the homeowner, and when the gas company purchased that section of ground up there, from what I was told,
I wonder why they feel that the
that
city,
wall
it's
was
the city's
supposed to be,
responsibility.
No, because they called me.
No,
Wanted to know
that
what
wall
was
was
gonna
supposed to
do
be
about it.
replaced by the gas company.
Wait, what was your question, Paul? I'm sorry.
No, I mean, if that's the case, I'm wondering why they contacted us and feel like it's the city's responsibility.
Nobody contacted us. Well, somebody called you about the debris in the road. I'm just saying that it's their private property, there's nothing we can do with the rest of the wall needs fixed. You know what I mean? And we told them that. And every day I drove by there checking and there was nothing. We haven't done anything yet.
That's what I said, I was told, I was under the impression the gas company part of the deal that they.
Gas company's gone, you know what I mean? They're coming back.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, they were going. So I don't know. That was what I
Can
was.
I make a comment on the gas company?
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I got a call also somewhere up on Erin or somewhere up on the hill when the gas company was working up there, they destroyed a bench, a city bench. Does anybody know where this would be located?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't know that happened though,
Well, and they are willing to replace it,
but, okay.
but I told them to send me something so I can bring it up before the council, which they have not done yet.
Yeah, and that
But,
way.
and he wanted me to make a decision right then, well, do you want this? I said, I can't make that decision. I said, send me an email or send me something in the mail. I said, and I will bring it up before the council, but I haven't received anything yet.
That bench is on Murphy Street.
Murphy,
Where you go, Murphy, where you go to the.
Yeah. The corner of
Right
Murphy
back
and
there,
Aaron,
tore up, yeah.
well, the gas company admitted they did it.
Yeah.
So,
That's where it's
that
at.
and some other
They-
things.
yeah, they wanted to replace it, but I told them I couldn't make that decision on what kind.
Do we still have the corners, the benches?
You know what? Yeah, I think we do. We should. I don't know. I know that some of the one of the reasons we got rid of the one that we got rid of down at the park is because it was just so warped. You know what I mean? And we fixed a couple of them at the end of the bridge earlier in the, well, not at the end of last summer, but, and it's a pain because you gotta, it's wood
Yeah,
and concrete.
Yeah, it'd be easier to just
Yeah,
build new ones.
yeah, exactly. So I can't answer your question about the forms, but I can, well,
We can do that.
get back to you.
We can do that.
But, next, well, we've been working on the pool on and off. You know, with all the different things coming up, the grass cutting in, we did meters, and, I've been checking the CSOs real heavy with all the rainfall. Ain't got nothing we gotta worry about as far as that goes. Hadn't had any, overflow or anything like that. The Bobcat got fixed.
Bobcat is fixed.
Yep, it's smooth sailing, it's doing awesome.
Well, so when you said that, Mikey at Amoroso's General Store,
Yeah,
he cleaned out that whole alley. He's got that there on Asheville Street.
yeah.
And he was wondering if you could go and put that somewhere, because it was mostly pigeon crap.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all right with you guys, I can take care of it.
And he said he cleaned that whole alley out, and he said he even found a drain back there. He did.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we'll definitely go back and look at it and before it goes. Let me see, like I said, I'm doing this off the top of my head, my memory's not the greatest. Oh, I got right now, so.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I go to Blue Dump Truck and figure out anything we need to get.
Blue dump truck?
I don't know what's it might go cost to be there.
Well, it needs, I wrote it down for him, but it needs a transfer case, it needs a yoke, and apparently the yoke that truck needs is pretty hard to find.
Yes, we've been
And,
on
and,
for years.
What the heck was the other thing? There's one more thing I can't remember.
Is it gonna be
You don't have that paper, do you?
No.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be cheaper than the other?
Transfer case more than $400-$500 should be on it.
And I think honestly, that truck, if we put the money into fixing it, it might be cheaper now, but it would, that truck's so old, nickel and dime, and you'd probably wind up over the course of a year spending more money than you would with the brown truck, you know what I mean? But,
Well, we're looking at what on the brown truck though?
20,
To get it.
well,
Yeah.
we found
buying a new one, right?
Right now, we talked at the last meeting, we're doing an audit on all our vehicles. I talked to Jason Warner, he found a cheaper motor for that, and I told him we're not gonna commit to it until we finish this audit and see what we can afford, what vehicles we don't need. We just keep stockpiling them. What we don't need, we need to look into getting rid of, so it's a work in progress right now.
We literally just started that like yesterday. And filling out the papers and stuff.
Yeah, because most of what we have down there should have been hauled in years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
But you're okay with what you have right now? I mean, you only got one truck.
Yeah, we're working with it, you know what I mean?
Where else are you?
My question is, Rick knows about it. I'm still wanting to know when you're gonna fix that, the big thing, cement block thing, on Water
It's all, we already, so yeah, we did that, what, a month and a half ago, but we, as far as cementing it, you mean?
Yeah,
Like actually,
Still has to be,
yeah, we don't have any.
we're gonna have to get a
cement.
form and put around that.
Yeah.
Street. They may do something quick.
We
The
may
kids
have
come back
to-
here, they're throwing all
may
kinds
have
of,
to-
your fans and butts down the crack that you got, and I go down Warm now. It's gonna come to the point where,
We may have to-
that's a city property thing.
Yeah.
It's not on the basketball court
That whole thing.
or the rest of where to go, but I'm over there and do all the things. But I'm tired, the kids say, hey, either we want to be a trash can put back here, which I know they're gonna respect it or not anyway, because they're did.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they
we
sit down the
take-
cylinder block, and this is what they do, drink the thing, and they throw the stuff down in that hole, you know. And then like I say, you still got vapors coming through, I don't know what, hard to tell. You know, you said you wouldn't use it no more, or whatever.
That shouldn't even be being used, is it?
It's got what coming through it?
They had vapors come up through it, like on rain day and hot day.
Oh, yeah, that's just steam. I mean,
Steam for vapor, I'm talking about,
Is
when
that-
the kids are throwing, I'm not worried about that, that don't worry me much, I know what that is. I'm talking about when kids come down there when they play, they don't care what they're throwing, they're sitting on that block and throwing whatever they can.
yeah. Well, that will create an issue, yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's what I'm talking about. I get tired of, now, if I go down, they can smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, we taped
I
off the
tell them,
playground.
yeah,
for
don't
this-
tell everybody quick, this ain't yours.
We taped off the playground for the COVID 2 different times, and they went down there and they tore the tape apart and, I don't know.
You know, the issues that have been just instead of putting the trash in the woods, like, oh, take it with you, throw it down there, they can trash can down there.
We'll probably have
Yeah,
to
well, yeah.
just tear that whole piece out and waste all of it.
Well, that's what it's gonna be, because
It's
it's
not
not fair,
fair.
somebody can put the wrong thing down here. Firefighters or anything,
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that,
you're already supposed to fix that a long time ago, need it.
I don't know if that was still alive or not. See, we had 4 or 5 of these CSO places taken out.
4, we had, 7, we
We had
did the
7.
water plant upgrade, knocked 4 out, we got 3 left.
Yeah.
And we have muffin mosses right now, which actually
Yeah,
reduces
I-
the load on
I-
those,
I-
so.
That's the same time I told that company was down there dumping
Yeah. Well,
stuff
see,
in the plumbing and getting stuff out of there,
Yeah.
and the lid was off and they
I
had
wish we
stuff
could have
out
got,
there.
I wish we could have got a name on that.
Yeah, I couldn't be figured out. I thought I might have come treatment, I didn't care what to it.
That's-
That's
Okay,
what
let's
some
get- we
city.
gotta get back to the meeting now. No looking for that.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I got to say on that.
That's something we want to,
Yeah.
we can fix that.
Okay, we're up to you, Greg.
All right, to get everybody up to date on where we're at with the water situation, we got 3 issues we're looking at. One is where we're gonna get water in the next 75 days, what we're gonna do long-term, and on down the road will be a sewer issue. Right now, the town of Westernport has given us a offer on the potable water. As far as long-term, we have the $1.9 million loan that Senator Manchin, Capito, and all of them sent to let us know that that loan's only there for one thing, tie into Westernport's water. We don't tie into Westernport water, they're gonna pull the funding. So trying to find funding outside of that has been more than a little difficult. We've been trying to work with numbers, and in reality, where we're sitting at, the offer that's out there is we would be paying the same for water as Westernport residents and as Luke residents, excluding the raw water surcharge. Each individual household would not be paying the raw water surcharge. The town of Piedmont would be one customer. kind of hard to complain or believe you're going to get water cheaper than they're going to sell to their own residents. So we don't believe we're going to get any better deal than that. Me and Paul will meet with the attorneys and the mayor later on today to make sure we have the safeguards that they can't raise our rates without raising their own. Of course, a bigger group of people helps you protect against rates if it comes to that. That's no guarantee that there won't be another rate increase, but it's going to have to raise for Westernport, Piedmont, and Luke. The rate increase, the interim rate we're dealing with, we was told that's exactly that, an interim rate till September of this year. If you look at the minimum amount, which is all we can say for sure, it's going to raise the rate about $8 a month right now. You're probably going to see it raise another $8 later on in the fall. Now, if you look at it, there is a very, very large percentage of our people paying more than that in late fees. So they can eliminate that by just paying the bill on time, and they ain't going to see any difference in what they're paying now anyway. 41% of our people are under the minimum. So that's what they're looking at. If they're using more than that, it's going to be a little more increase in that. The increase that the PSC has put in place is for water. It's going to have no effect on your sewer. Your sewer rate will remain the same. So, as far as the potable water, we'll know more on this agreement. We've had the attorneys involved in it. My position was we need to have a lot more protection for the citizens of Piedmont than we did with the mill, because there is no standing document that the mill has to give us anything. That's where we're at with the potable water. With the raw water, the mill has sent us, Verso has sent us a notification that their plan is to shut the water off on July 18th. We're down to 75 days to get raw water. We had talked about one of the other meetings about putting another pump station in where the mill draws out of the river. The mill agreed to let us do that, put 300 foot of line in on two conditions. One is we have to secure all the permits, which there would have to be new permits set 6 months away. And the second condition was we have to take ownership of the low water dam. That spans the whole river from Maryland to West Virginia. We've made it very clear to them, we can't afford to do that. If there's a single issue with that dam, it'll bankrupt this town. If they was to come in and destroy the dam right now, we wouldn't be able to get water there anyway, because that dam was put there for the sole purpose of gathering water at the intake for the mill. The mill has agreed to allow us to stay on their property temporarily. I know there's a legal question of whether we stay there permanent. Problem is, having the pipe on the property can be permanent. If I don't have any water in it, the pipe don't do me no good. We talked to the Army Corps of Engineers. They had $450,000 available for a study to put the Piedmont Dam back in service. We had to put $150,000 up front, which we cannot afford to do. The second part of that is, even after the feasibility study is done, there is no guarantee of money being available to do that work. We cannot use the current bond money or grant money put up there to do that work. So we went back to the town of Westernport about selling us raw water, which they're willing to do. We're talking about the details on that. There would have to be the purchase of a flow meter, a PRV, and a strainer on the system, which Verso has agreed to pay at least in part. Jonathan Fowler has said that there is emergency money available, that we can purchase that. That can be done in a day. So we have to take a serious look at doing that, because July 18th is their intent to pull the plug. on the water. I can concur with Rusty that I can't even tell you who our county commissioners are, because I've never heard a peep out any of them about our water situation. I have had a minor discussion with Gary Howe. I'm not real happy with a lot of them currently, because when the mill shut down, they all come a-flocking. And then after that, after they got the picture in the paper and everything, we just don't seem to find them quite as readily available. And I'm going to have a discussion with them on that. So we will know more this afternoon after we talk to them. The third part, and this might be down the road a little bit, is sewage. Right now, currently we deal with UPRC. Over 90% of their income came from that mill. The question is going to be, will they get the permits to run as a municipality-only treatment plant? And if they do, can we afford it? Like I said, the mill fit a lot of that bill. There is $2 million in grant money available for sewer projects. Me and Paula had met with Steve Thrasher, or Steve Buchanan from Thrasher. There is grant money to be able to do a feasibility study in the town. Will cost us nothing. They're going to look into getting us the applications for that. We can't wait till that comes up before we address it. Because the question is, if UPRC doesn't run, where do we go? Do we got to look into a package plant for sewage? Do we got to look in for an agreement with Westernport on a package plant for sewage? We don't know. Do we got to look into going to Kaiser for sewage? We can't wait till that's up, but for not costing us anything to get the grant study done, I recommend that we do that and get that taken care of out of the way. Trust me, I can't say I'm a big fan of going to Westernport's water, but we're looking from a financial standpoint, what can we feasibly do? You cannot run our filter plant on 207 gate taps, especially if we got to purchase raw water anyway. Being the cost is what is set, I'm satisfied with. We're looking at, with that income coming in, with the current increases that the water bills are coming in, and me and Carrie's had some discussions, and we'll continue to have more on exactly where we're going to end up with that money coming in, purchasing water, where our finances are going to be. Of course, this would shut down our water plant, which would cut some of our costs out there from a chemical standpoint. Absolutely. We would still need a distribution operator at the plant, but he would free him up to do other work outside of sitting there while we're taking raw water in. So I think that pretty much covers it where we're at, and we'll know more this afternoon.
Okay, final reading of the bond ordinance. Ordinance authorizing the design and other pre-construction of certain extensions, additions, betterments, and improvements to the existing public water works system of the city of Piedmont and the financing of the cost thereof, not otherwise provided, through the issuance by the city of Piedmont of not more than $200,000 in original aggregate principal amount of waterworks design revenue bonds, series 2020. Providing for the rights and remedies of and security for the registered owners of such bonds, authorizing execution and delivery of all documents relating to the issuance of such bonds, approving, ratifying, and confirming a loan agreement relating to such bonds, authorizing the sale and providing for the terms and provisions of such bonds, and adopting other provisions relating thereto. And like I said, that's just the bond ordinance we want to put in place. We don't plan on borrowing any money because of the grant we have, but we have to approve this ordinance to be eligible to go down the road if it's at all necessary. So do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the order.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Okay. Bond ordinance in place and hope it never gets used.
Yep.
Okay, new business, the Explorer and the Cadillac. Did we touch on that earlier?
I think we already touched on it, yeah.
Okay. And we have on here the application for the water plant operator. We only have one. And he's not certified, so I don't know what we need to do with that. What was the name you gave me?
Ronnie Alexander. I've got his number.
I think you gave it to me.
Yeah.
But
He's certified, I forget what level he is, he's up there, he did all of our wastewater at Dr. Fiber.
yeah, this was a young man. Here it is. Just
As
how-
long as we're taking raw water in, we have to have a licensed operator.
Has to be class 2.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, is it possible one of those guys that are going to be losing a job up here is the mill would be interested in that? Can we check into that?
We can check into it. They're all class 4 operators, which I think covers class 2.
Yeah, it's bigger.
You know.
But the issue is not the interruption, it's Maryland or West Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
It'd
Like,
be West Virginia certified.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe some of those guys are.
Yeah, and I can't tell you what certification they had to do, but I'll find out. We can look into that,
yeah.
but if we gotta do this before July, because if something happens to Eric or you're in the reserve,
The National Guard, yeah.
yeah, he's gotta go. We gotta have someone to cover that seat.
Well, Jackson has always said that he would be available.
He doesn't have his West
Yeah.
Virginia guy.
Okay.
Do you know, I'll have to call Ron, and is he a West Virginia certified?
That I can't speak to.
Okay, we'll still look into getting that West Virginia certified. And at the other meeting, we talked about having John Lusk for our city judge. Elk Garden does not want to pursue having him, so we would be responsible for all the certification money. They gave us the name of David Walker, who needs no training and won't expect the city to pay for his training. He would be the city judge for $100 per visit, and we may use him 3 times a year of that. So we may need to put this on the agenda for the next meeting also. Contact him. Anything else?
Just one last thing. We pretty much had to cancel the cleanup day for this month, but the cleanup day, but this is still May, and this is still Piedmont cleanup month, so I'm just asking people to still get out of your yards or whatever and pick up and clean up your own areas. I mean, we're all restricted right now, but great time to get outside, clean up in your own area, clean up your home, your own property. It goes a long way to help the town, too. So that's what I want to say, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms in the city of Piedmont. That's all I've got for them.
Okay. Okay. That's all we have.
Motion to adjourn.
Second time, see when the next meeting will be.
I think it's the 20th, I would say.
Yep.
That's what I had.
Yes, one.
Oh.
I could have made another
Yeah,
mistake.
there it is right on the paper. Next meeting will be May 20th. It will also be here. We'll keep having them here until we're through all that reopening of the
At
state.
noon?
At noon.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we adjourn.